Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the Blue Podcast where we do everything, including interviews. And today I'm joined with Kian and Jamie and Kieran. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming on. Little teaser, because this is coming out on next Wednesday. Yeah. What are you doing the Sunday after that, Kieran?
Always the charity game. Yeah, excited for that one as well. It's my charity debut, so yeah, I'm going to kick it off with a win.
Well, I'm not going to reveal which team he's on yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah, same.
But we're going to talk about, well, you have played internationally.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain kind of a very brief summary of your journey so far, and then we'll go into the details and all that sort of stuff?
I think first, before I get into that, I just want to say, growing up, like, I wasn't normal. Like, I can look back and laugh at it now, but I think, like, when you're in the sports industry or any industry in general, I think if you're normal, you can't reach the heights of, like, being elite and that sort of stuff there. So, in that sense, that's why it doesn't really bother me too much. But I mean, like, I was weird to the point where, like, I used to love when it rained.
Why?
And I'll explain why. Because I knew, like, every time it rained and I got my football, my cones, and me and my brother went to the park, I knew 80% of my competition will probably look at the weather and gone, you know what, like, I'm not going to train today, or I'm going to play PlayStation, or I'm going to go and watch Netflix. And that way, I'm getting ahead. So it's all about the small wins. The small wins are everything.
Because your brother plays as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he plays as well. But it was never always like my mentality. I started football late, so I started around like 10, 11. And there was no tactical understanding. Like, it was just flip the analog stick, slap on the DRS. And then I just let God take the wheel. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. And then eventually, like, people saw stuff in me. I thought, you know, like, he's got something he can go far. And so I used to play up a lot with my brother, which helped. And then it was from that I realized that, like, you got to have more than just speed. You got to have technical understanding and then tactical understanding and be able to have better decision making. And from there, really, like, I just kind of pushed on.
Amazing. And as you can see on the shirt next to you, you played for Anguilla.
Yeah.
You are our first international player on the podcast, so thank you very much for coming on. But before we get into that, I do want to, as you're talking about your journey there, you started late at, 10 years old, you said?
Yeah, 10, 11, yeah.
Were you playing just for fun at that point? When was kind of the age where you were like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this?
It was mostly just school football. Like, obviously, you have friends who just play, and then you want to be like them, so you play as well. And then I think it was my friend's dad got me involved in a club, a local club, and then from there, like, it just pushed on. Like, I don't know, like, it's like, yeah, it's all a bit of a blur. Like, looking back now, thinking what actually happened, but it just from there, it just pushed on, and it just went on to bigger things, pretty much.
What was the first? Did you go through an academy?
See, here's the thing. So, like, my first proper trial was Charlton.
Okay.
And obviously, Charlton's a big club, and I knew that. But as a kid, like, all I know is Premier League football. I don't know Championship or League One. So, I've gone there now. They've given me a trial. I've gone there, and I've not understood the seriousness of the situation. Yeah. So, I'm playing well. I'm doing that. But then on top of that, like, to get there 3-4 times a week, like, me and mum were trying to get there, and we're like an hour late to session. So, in the long term, I figure if I sign here, this is not even gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, it's just didn't make sense. So, like, we left there, and from there, like, it was just a slippery slope in terms of clubs. Like, I went to a few clubs, and there's always like a certain narrative. At first, it was, like, because of his height, he's too short, he's not gonna grow. But then I grew, and then I remember, like, as a kid, like, it's funny to say now, but I was kind of like, I was built like a mini fridge. In a sense, like,
whereas I'm now just built like a fridge.
I was mad stocky, so sometimes I was misconstrued as, like, he's a bit chubby, a bit fat, but it made no sense because those times I was playing fullback or set mid where you run the most distance on the pitch. So that really didn't really add up to me, but I thought, it is what it is, like, it's part of football. And then the last straw for me, I'll never forget this. I was at Leighton Orient on trial, and I was there for a while, and it's one of those ones where, like, you've been on trial for so long, like, everyone just assumes you're signed or you're just one of them sort of thing. So, like, I remember, looking back now, so I was there for time, and then the day before my meeting, everyone's daffing me up saying, like, let's see how long you get in your contract. Like, we'll see you in train next week. I go into the meeting and they've gone to me, yeah, we like you, you're a good player, but you play too many positions too well. And I'm thinking, what?
That's crazy.
So I remember I played fullback, I played centre back, and I played centre mid as well. I've done decent all those positions. And their reasoning was when you go scholar or get your first pro, you got to have me to know like your exact position. Like if you play multiple positions, then it's not going to work. Which in my head at first I tried to make sense of that, but looking back now it makes no sense.
Especially like the modern day.
Yeah. In modern,
How many players have
versatile
3-4
players.
positions?
Yeah. So that hurt me for a while. Like I took a step back from it for a long time because it's like, what have I got to do to get across this line? Like, some of the stuff here I can't even. It's out of my control. Sort of thing.
I'm too good to get a contract.
That's such a weird reasoning.
Maybe they just didn't want me, but at the time, as a kid, you think, it must make sense because you hear from coaches, but people just say stuff for just the sake of saying things. And
obviously, you said that hurt you a bit. How do you kind of bounce back from it? Did it shift your mindset at all, or was it just one of them? But you just kept doing your usual thing.
I think that's when family comes in. I had a very good support system. Like my mum and dad will go to every one of my games, and my brother as well, he played football, so like he was always betting me, so I always used to try get to this level. And so like having them around me, if they weren't there, then I don't know where I'd be. I'd be on the streets, or I don't know where I'd be pretty much. And so I think that's the biggest advantage I've had over most players I know because I know loads of great footballers who haven't gone to where I have, and the reason because of that is because of when you look at the support system, their family, like their family didn't really. It's not they didn't believe in them; they had the ability, but they weren't really putting in the same amount of energy into what my parents were doing or what my family done for me.
When you got someone, you can be as good as you want at something, but if you haven't got someone behind you pushing you that extra step, it's kind of something that I know is spoken about a lot in the news with academies and stuff like that. Is you can have amazing ballers like playing in academies from young ages, but the instant they get dropped, they've not got the support system there.
Yeah. And sometimes, most of the time, you don't even need the support, but it's those times like those when you get released from your club and you're at your lowest point is where you just need someone, anything, just to get you back on your feet so you can get going again.
And how did you get back on your feet then?
Great question.
That's literally what I was thinking of.
I stopped football for a while. And
how long are we talking?
Probably like a year and a bit.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was just focusing on school and just being a kid, because when you're playing football for that long and you're trying to make a career out of it, you lose that human element, and like didn't go to parties, didn't really do that sort of stuff then. So I just used that time to like just go and just be a kid for once.
Yeah.
I think we put too much pressure on ourselves to want to go pro. Like there's more to life than being a footballer. Yeah. That's what I try and teach people. There's way more to life, and that's not everything. And it worked out better. I think when you have...
I was going to say, do you think help you?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't realise this till later in my career, but I think having a hobby or having some outside of football to kind of like take the pressure off, to like have an escape is so important, because the moment football's not going well and that's your whole world and it's crashing down and you have nowhere to turn to, so it's a very dark place. But yeah, I took a break for a while, and it was funny enough, someone who I worked with was like to me how Newport County are looking for a fullback. Okay. And at the time, I can't remember, I was doing something, so I said like, my priority is not really foot right now. Like I can't really go. And they'll understand. They're like, all right, cool. Like you can't go out now. Would you come another time? I said, yeah. But I thought that was done and dusted. I didn't ever come back.
So was that your position you'd chosen to play at fullback?
Nah, not even. As I said, I flipped the analog stick and slept on the DRS. That was my game.
Fair enough.
And then as time got on, like I just got slower, and then I just got slower, and I found fullback. I thought, what, I like it here. It's a bit of both, bit of defend. It's just, and I thought like I enjoy it. And then sometimes I play centre mid as well at times, or centre back. So
it's really interesting, because I've got a mate who played semi-pro, also a fullback, like playing midfield. Yeah. Centre mid. It seems like a very common, like, you see Rhys James right now for Chelsea. Yeah. It's a very common...
Rico Lewis has done it. Yeah. You've seen...
So many teams do it now.
Skelly's done it. It's that kind of...
And when were you doing this?
What age was I doing?
Yeah.
This was young.
So basically, you created the position.
Yeah.
Pioneer.
I'm glad I've done it because I think from me doing that, you learn different positions. Because in your career, you're not going to play one position your whole career. It's very unlikely. So from learning different positions, like you're always going to be in favour at some place. But yeah, at Newport, so they hit me back, and then I was like, cool, I'm ready to go. So I went down there, all the way down to Wales. And I thought, if this is gonna be my last dance, I might as well just all out. So I've done a session, done amazing, and the coach comes up to me because it was just one day, and he goes, "Oh, have you got any more clothes?" And I go, "What do you mean more clothes?" He goes, "Yeah, we want to see you for a longer period." So I said, "No one's told me enough. I come here. I've already got the clothes I got on now. Like I was about to go back home." And he goes, "No, we went for longer." So I remember my mum had to go into like the Newport like town centre and just buy me clothes for the week.
Oversized trousers.
Yeah, like
rock up in anything.
Matching. These times, like Newport didn't have that much money, so like they didn't have digs for me or anything. So luckily, my auntie was in Bristol.
Oh, that's quite convenient.
And God bless her, she allowed me to stay there for our time there. And done the trial. Everything went well, and then they said to me, "Yeah, we'll get back to you." So I've gone back to ends and just it's summertime. So I think I'm 16 at the time. So you just finished GCSEs. So you just do what I don't even know what I was doing, to be honest.
Just chilling, really.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
I didn't hear back for weeks. Like, I thought, it's just one of those things. But like, I didn't hear back for time. So I thought, that's just gone. And then one day, like, I was just chilling. I get a call and it was like, yeah, you just signed your first contract. Like,
damn.
That's incredible.
I was like, wow, the relief I felt, like, it was like all those times in the past where I got done wrong, like, it's really like, it's happening for me now.
What's your mindset at that age?
In
getting that call, like, in just
at 16.
How do you react to that? Because I mean, if I was 16 years old, let's put it in. I played rugby when I was growing up, and let's say I got a call from Harlequins at 16 years old, I'd be like, head on Mars.
Yeah, you're starstruck by it.
I think I didn't talk for like 10, 20 minutes, and these times like I was out as well, so the text has come in. I think he's calling me, and I'm on the phone, and I'm just looking into space, and obviously my mum knew, but she didn't tell me. She wanted me to know first, wait till we get home. So like I'm just sitting there, my head's just like sitting in Mars. Like, I was like, wow, like I've really like all the stuff I went through in the past. It wasn't really for nothing. Like I've actually like I've done something, and I've earned it. Something like I haven't just been given to me. I've earned it in a way. But yeah, like that's when this is where it gets more interesting because
here we go.
Again, they're like, we're setting things up, we'll get you to come down and we'll sort things out for you. So I was like, cool. And then again, I didn't hear back for weeks. So I'm thinking this is a bit weird, like season starting soon. Like, and one of my boys, he was also from London, he was there already, was signed, called Ashley, got rest his soul, obviously passed away recently. He was calling me, asking me like when you come down, bro, like I haven't seen in a while, sort of thing. And then eventually the call came through, and they go to me, about that contract.
Ooh.
They go, due to like financials and international clearance, like we don't know if we can make it happen. And plus the guy who brought me in as well, he moved on as well, so they had new staff. So I was like, so you go from being the highest of highs to lowest, and you're thinking, how has this happened again? At that point, like, and while this, I didn't know this at the time, but while this was happening, that's when Anguilla were obviously looking around, because obviously Newport are League 2. And my cousin Cyrus, who, if it wasn't for him, I would never be playing World Cup qualifiers. Like, I'm so thankful for him, eternally grateful for him. He has a background in football, playing for QPR and stuff, and he told the national team to look out for me. My brother played a race, so he's scoring his debut, and he was like big time out there.
What position is your brother?
He's a winger and cam. So he done his thing, and they're like, like my brother, like he's obviously at Newport County, he's doing his thing, like take a look. So they'll monitor me, and then obviously the Nats happened, and I didn't notice at the time, and then after that, I think I went on trial to one other club, but like my head was in the space that you can play football, so I've gone there, and like, I wasn't even like I wasn't even in the right headspace to even play football. Like, so, and I knew like my time, I wasn't going to get an offer there or get a contract. So that came and went, and just I think that point there was the lowest point in my career where I thought like done, like football, football, completely done.
Do you think this happens to a lot of people in your kind of similar situation?
Yeah, sometimes even worse.
Yeah,
sometimes even worse. But yeah, it's just football has this mentality. As a football, you gotta have that mentality where like it's just a game. Like you can be really good and go to a club, but sometimes it's politics. Like it can be the agent you're going with is not liked by the club, or there's another player who's on trial with you, who has a bigger agency, who has players in the club that he represents, or managers he even represents.
Yeah,
and sometimes
I remember when I was at Eastbourne, there was a few players who all had the same agent, and they get brought in for trials.
Yeah,
if they were the same agent.
Yeah.
You just think like if you perform well on a pitch and you do your thing, like you play, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that most people don't know about, which is it's just borderline crazy.
Do you think as a young player, it's hard to say, don't get me wrong, but do you think it's actually harder to have that callback and hear you've got a contract and then you haven't, or to just not hear a callback in general? Does that make sense?
That's a great question.
Trained them well.
That's a really
media
good
training. It's a hard one, I know.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, really. In my situation, I wouldn't change my story for anything. I think if those situations didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
So, but I think I needed to hear like I got over the line, because so many times I was so close to that finish line, and I just need that little bit to get over. And there's times where I thought maybe it's my ability or I'm not good enough. And so to actually see like for once like the ability is there, it's just the circumstances.
Yeah.
That's the small win. Like, we talk about small wins.
Yeah.
That's everything I needed.
That was my second question in terms of, do you think of course, but kind of how do you think that, the kind of not getting contract at Charlton, then this happening, do you think that affected you as a person and actually almost built your confidence? Because as you said, that the level is there. It's just that kind of unfortunate circumstance that there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Do you think that helped you build as not just a player, but as a character as well?
Yeah. I think football's got so many transferable skills, like life skills, and I tell my boys and everyone trying to get into football, like in football, like you can't get high, you can't get too low. Like that's one thing football's taught me, and it's just like, in a sense, like you just got you can't take it personally. Even though it is personal, you can't take it personally. You can only control the controllables.
Yeah.
And that's in any situation in life. You can only control the controllables. So I can go like, oh yeah, they didn't sign me and this and that. Like I hold on to it for years.
Yeah.
And then I'm not progressing. I'm not moving on to anything. And then what you told your kids, I got released from Charlton and I quit because the circumstances were different. And
yeah. How do you think you got that mindset? Because as you're saying, like a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
You think it's a support system or just something that you kind of just built with?
It's a support system, and just it might sound a bit cliche, but it's just a lot of failure.
Yeah.
People are scared to fail, and it's a normal thing. No one wants to fail in life, but once you've been through so much failure, each time you're learning. So you might get 100 no's. All you need is one yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going through it and you're thinking you're getting to no 99, 100, that next time
could be the next one. Yeah.
Each time I'm that much closer. Because as you're going along, you're collecting things, you're collecting information on your game and who you are as a person. And when you're building that up, there's no reason for you to fail the next time, because that means you haven't learned from your mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the term a lot of time, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the case in football. Do you think you'd be where you are today if some of the stuff in the past for your career didn't happen, kind of thing?
Those are all what ifs though, innit?
Yeah.
We never truly know. If I went to Charlton and I'd done well, could I be playing Champions League football? Could I be like Lutman? Or if things went well at Newport County, would I still be there? Would I be released? Would I go there, get a pro, and then leave the game completely?
Yeah.
So everything happens for a reason.
And I mean, you're still young as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
You say that, but sometimes I look at myself thinking, oh, like I get out the car sometimes.
bro, I'm 25.
Feeling aches. Feeling aches and pains. I think, oh, you know, those times where like you're just chilling, you just get that random sharp pain. You're thinking,
In your chest, yeah.
this could be it, you know.
As you get older.
I'm aware, yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming on something actually I wanted to ask was, have you been affected by injury in terms of like throughout career? Because I know that's something with a lot of young players, you know, ACL, something like a severe injury can really damage someone.
He's on fire, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, your
I'll be there
question's
eventually.
cold. Thankfully enough, I don't think I've had any major injuries. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. The time where I quit football, I had a really bad groin problem. I think it's from growing, where like every time like I'll pass that side repetitively, like it would just like lock up and become sore, and I struggle to run. And so there was times where clubs would come in, but always scholarship season, like it's a quick turnaround. There's so many players getting released and getting signed, and so you got to try and like get in that system while all that's happening. And so I was injured during the most important part of scholarship season, which then wasn't great. But apart from that, I haven't had any major injuries, and we thank God for that. We just,
we hope that continues like that as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that's
Don't get injured on Sunday.
it's something that, you know, does affect a lot of people. And as you said, thank God that it hasn't happened to you.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like that's damaging as well.
I mean, it was a fear from when we were doing a lot of training 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Kind of all of a sudden that we were having just as the boys preparing for the charity matches, like, mate, imagine a week before.
Yeah.
Something goes.
It
Oh,
must be. So I've done my ACL before.
Yes, you have,
it is one of the worst things that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And it's just.
Yeah, you've had your own.
Yeah. I literally did my ACL, recovered. In recovery, did my ACL again.
Yeah. Because when you do it once, you're very light.
Yeah. That's what stopped me from continuing playing football where I was. But
You've got the if it wasn't for my knee, I would have made it.
no, yeah, I genuinely have a medical sign off of it. Yeah, I literally have the medical sign off.
I've got the document. It's real.
Got it all at home.
No, but you can't have that mindset. When you go into a mindset thinking, oh, I'm going to get injured, or like, I'm not going to play well, that plays on you.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, I think.
That was the devastating part. I feel like once I'd done it once, I kind of thought, it's happened, I should be fine.
Yeah.
To then do it again in recovery, I wasn't even playing football. I was literally running.
No, that is heartbreaking.
I was running.
That's bad.
We were literally doing sprints, and as I was sprinting, my leg planted, and I felt my leg twist. And you know where like they kind of say you automatically know what's happened. I was in tears, not even just because of the pain. I just like I literally knew what had happened.
But you see that sometimes on TV when like someone just knows. That they're cooked.
Yeah. That's why I'm so shocked. How was it? Who was that ex-Barcelona player playing at Inter Miami, who managed to get an assist and play like 20 minutes with a torn ACL?
Oh,
is it Pui? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He's managed to get an assist and play 30 minutes with a torn ACL.
Yeah, that was mental.
I'm just thinking, what are you doing? But also, like that's resilience. Like I think of how I was on the floor crying, like, bro,
the comparisons.
I don't understand it. It's incredible.
But when when the adrenaline's rushing through you as well, you don't even realize what you've done at the time. And when it wears off afterwards, you're thinking, oh.
Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't train. It's different. This guy's playing in a cup final. Like, it makes sense. But
we were just after Newport.
Yeah.
How did he get there?
Yeah.
That's what we want to know.
It's a beautiful shirt, man.
Almost there.
It's a beautiful shirt.
Yeah. The problems I've got, the amount of people who are asking for a shirt, I'm like, listen, like, I wish I can. It's just, it's so difficult because they sell out almost instantly when they come out, and once the shipping and stuff is, I don't think they ship to the UK, so it's difficult.
I might need a new kit manufacturer.
Yeah.
You're getting stuff in.
I might hit them up.
Yeah. So after Newport, I think it was probably a week later.
Yeah.
They gave us a shout out like, they want to call you up for U20s, and so like these times, like I don't know anyone who's gone to the Caribbean like my age or that sort of thing. So it was just new, like it was entering like a new world sort of thing. I didn't know what to expect, or it's the first time I travelled from. Well, I travel like I've done tours in Europe and stuff like that, but I've never been like to the Caribbean across the world, so you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And we've gone over there, and we played like a tournament, and it was probably like the best experience I had ever. Like going back home for one, going to beautiful countries and stuff like that, and it felt like. It almost feels like a holiday, which is wrong to say. But you got to remember at the same time, if you don't perform, like, you never come back. So you got to hit the ground running, no matter about the new environment and stuff like that. You have to be ready for whatever comes to you. And it was a great experience. They've done a tournament out there. And I swear to you, no longer than a week later, I'm going through the airport and it's just a ghost town. I'm thinking, that's a bit weird. I get home, and within a week later, we've gone into lockdown.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
So I'm thinking, wow, I might never pay for my country again. I thought, like, this is, I
crazy.
might even play football again. It's like, this is just insane. Like, so for a long time, I'm thinking, wow, like, the one chance I had to play for my country, like, I'll never do it again. And it was from there is where I installed this mindset, like, whenever I go out there again, or whenever I go, always give 100%, because football don't last long. It's 10 years if you're lucky. So whenever you step on a pitch, you don't know who's what, just give 100%, because you can, like, your ACL injury can go at any time. Anytime.
Continue.
No, I was gonna say, then fortunately enough, obviously we come out of lockdown and stuff, and I was able to play again, and I think it was Nations League game, and it was against Dominica, and that was just unreal. Like, I remember walking out the tunnel and I thought, wow, like, this is everything I dreamed of, like, playing at home in front of fans. Like, this is just surreal.
I think one of my questions was just going back to lockdown. How was that for you? Because, you know, a lot of people, a lot of footballers and stuff struggled with that.
Yeah.
I think, you know, as you said, after just having represented your nation, that must have been such a tough hit, knowing that, you know, you couldn't go out, couldn't play football.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was tough. It's weird saying this, because obviously you look out in the world and all the deaths and all the things that went out, what happened out, like, outside in the world and stuff was not nice. Like, people losing family members and not being able to see family for a while. But for me, like, as a kid, you don't really know what's going on. You don't understand the seriousness of the situation. So I actually loved it, like, lockdown. Like, crazy to say. I was basically not...
Warzone? Fortnite?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I was basically not telling. Like, I didn't have a console till I was like 17. So these times, like, I'm sleeping all day, up all night. I've got no school.
Yeah.
Eating just massive amounts of food. Like, I remember I came out, I was looking like a bowling ball. Like, it was actually, when I actually came back to football, like, it was weird. But those times there, like, because we'll never have those times. I don't think we'll be able to lock down like that again.
No, I don't.
I hope not.
Exactly.
I hope not.
Yeah.
There's a lot different view on it now, isn't there, as well? There's a lot of, like, stuff that has changed, and it was surreal, thinking that, you know, like, people literally just, they wouldn't allow you out your house.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it would never end.
Yeah.
It felt like
I thought
that
this was it. But yeah, again, like, in terms of, like, the deaths and the amount of people that died, it's horrible. Thank God I didn't have anyone I knew who had, well, I think that they've had COVID, but never, like, never went fell like that, other than that, and dying. But yeah, from a personal perspective, as a kid, you don't know what's going on. You're still young. You're trying to navigate the world still. You're just out there just playing games and stuff.
I hear it. I know one person who was hospitalized from it because they already had, like, a problem, and the fear that put into me, I cannot imagine the people who actually lost lives from that, and their families. You know, of course, people who ended up hospitalized, you couldn't even go and visit them in hospital. And then you think of people who died, people who had babies during this time. You couldn't even have that connection.
You couldn't even go to some family's funeral.
Exactly.
Yeah, the funerals online.
Yeah, that is. I think it's got to be one of the hardest times you face. But as you said, as a kid, that doesn't hit you. As a kid, you kind of think, oh yeah, no school. Exams might be cancelled. Cool, we're all gonna pass.
The generations that got their GCSEs and A levels.
My whole year was screwed over by it.
That was me.
I had 3 months of school, then cancelled, and then another 3 months cancelled again, and then suddenly we're doing exams. Sorry, what?
My girlfriend and my sister both got their A levels for free.
Predicted
Same,
grades. So did I.
No, actually, I did 2 out of all the rest of my exams, and the rest of them were like, nah, don't do it. But no, I hear it, actually. You know, you don't really think of that, actually, you know, in terms of, yeah, you know, you're a footballer, you think of it in a football sense, but actually, you know, as you said, there is that social side of it, there is that, like, life side, which I think a lot of people... A lot of fans take that out of football and think footballers don't have other lives, they don't do other stuff. But actually, I think, as you said, kind of that makes you almost just a kid again. You know what I mean? Because you can actually enjoy what other kids did, play games, relax, you know. I feel like
that's what I was going to touch on, like, back to being a naive kid. When I left lockdown, like your social skills, like, I had really bad social skills. Like, stuff like this, having a conversation or having eye contact, like, I had really bad, like, crippling anxiety. And that leaks onto the pitch sometimes. That leaks onto the pitch as well for a long while, because when you're not talking to people and having, like, genuine conversations, and for you, it's not, you've been doing it your whole life, so it's normal. And then you stop doing it for, a year and a half, and so, like...
There's a whole generation of, like, younger generation, even younger than you guys, who I definitely can tell that when, like, even my a relative of mine, much younger, he came out of lockdown way worse than he came in terms of social skills. Like, it's...
I mean, I
Some people never recover as well.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine us doing this the way we are now. Imagine if we had to suddenly stop, even just for us, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years.
You would automatically see a difference.
Yeah.
And then you think of people who, you know, as you said, kids haven't built up that social skill. If you're still learning how to socialize with people, and then suddenly that, like, social life is completely cut out, you can see how people just don't recover from it.
Our TikTok would do well, though, because they're being religiously online again.
Lives are always, really. But no, it's like, as you said, you kind of have to turn to that artificial kind of social thing of, like, you know, talking to people over games. That's not going to build up social skills. The whole point of social skills is sitting in a room having a conversation, which is what we're doing. But if we can't do that and we're doing it online, you don't know how people are looking. The difference between
doing a podcast online to in person is chalk and cheese.
Exactly. You know, you can't see facial expressions properly. You can't see the way people act, the movements. You have no idea how it is. It's just a blank screen, really.
Yeah. What's your... Actually, you go.
Obviously, I did ask you this off camera, but for people at home, we've got Jonathan Rose top up here. Scored the other night for the under-21s, spent last year on loan at Marseille, came through at Norwich. How do you know him?
To the point.
That's a great question.
Good question.
Me and JR, I mean, Jonathan Rose, we've known each other for a long time. We played back in, like, district time, and then we went to the same school for a bit. And it's weird because we spoke about this the other day, like, when we used to play district games, we used to go into the game knowing we already won, because, like...
It's a bit unfair.
We were playing on the same side. So I'll be left back, and I'll lock up defensively, and then literally I'll just get in a half turn and just play the ball into him. He's beating 3 or 4 guys.
He's incredible.
And just put it top bins, like, and he'll just score a hat-trick, and the game will just... Every game will be like... It'll just be a cannon event, like, every game we go into, he's doing the same thing, and it's crazy because... How you played back then is exactly how he plays now. Like, if you watch his time at Norwich, his last season, like,
when he people, doesn't it?
You get like people on their feet. Like, when you like build a team around him and let him do what he's got to do, you beat 3 or 4 guys and put it bins. Like, you would do that on a consistent basis, and both footed as well is a joke.
Man, just copy and paste from game to game. That's quality if you know what you're good at.
Yeah.
Like I was going to say, we've all seen had mates have been, in your eyes, that are really good at football. But, like, I know, mate, from back home, they didn't even make it into my local non-league side. And playing with them, they looked unbelievable. But then you're playing with someone who's gone into the game professionally at a high level. Obviously, you said about the playground stuff, but can you tell how much of a difference from them to other players at that time?
You can kind of... You're still kids, innit? Like, you could tell, like... this kid is not normal, like...
Circle back to the start of the podcast.
If you were in a park and you just saw him playing, you think, all right, he's got something. But as a kid, you don't know, like... how far you're going to go. Like, you always see, like, players have got potential to go pro, but there's so much that goes into it. And I think his mentality and his mindset, obviously, you can't see that. But obviously, like from there you could tell from his mentality and his. Sorry, that was I just buckled there.
Trust me, we've had a lot worse.
Oh yeah, but his mentality and his mindset, like that's something you can't coach, you can't. But it's either you got it, you have it, and that's when he's scoring in finals like that. I'm not even surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not even surprised really.
He's so comfortable.
Were you watching the game the other night?
No, I was away. But yeah, I did watch the game back afterwards and stuff like that. So yeah, it's sick, man. It's sick.
What's your favourite moment in Anguilla's shirt so far?
Good question there.
Clip.
Yeah. Up until that moment.
There's so many. I think probably the first time I played in like a proper stadium, we went to, I think it was St. Lucia.
Beautiful place as well.
Yeah, beautiful place. And they don't have like normal stadiums. They've got these massive like cricket pitches, and so yeah, like I remember just walking out and like in the roar of the crowd, and it's just the adrenaline starts rushing. You're thinking, all right, I'm really here now. I'm really here. Even though you're away from home, it's tough.
Yeah.
Just, but to be in that environment, I thrive with that sort of stuff there. There's something about a game that you can't really replicate until like it's game day. Like I'm more of like, I could do well in training. I'm very good in training, but when you like preparing for a game, there's certain things that you just within like you just have this sort of thing built up where like it can't be replicated anywhere else.
Yeah, kind of circling almost back to COVID, because there's a lot of players who played well without the crowds.
Yeah.
Would you say you're a person who plays better with the crowds?
Yeah, 100%.
Just like fires you up a bit more.
Yeah, it's just
Heard anyone screaming your name yet?
I wouldn't know because I'm just
too focused.
Yeah,
focused on the task at hand.
I think what's nice as well, especially the Caribbean, you feel very at home wherever you are in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
In terms of, sometimes you can go to, let's say you play for England, you can go to other countries where it's quite hostile against you. I feel like one thing about the Caribbean is fans, but because it's such a small area covered, I feel like a lot of fans cheer on both teams at start of games and stuff.
Really?
But because you're so like the islands are so connected together, you've got like British Isles, you've got American, but I think because islands are so connected, when they're cheering, let's say St. Lucia, when they're cheering for their players coming out, you feel like they're also cheering for you because it's that kind of representation of you are another Caribbean nation.
They're
you're
almost
small
just
nation.
supporting football.
Exactly.
That's so
representing Caribbean.
It's very accurate. Like because obviously football's not as big in the Caribbean compared to other sports, so I think they're just excited to be there. Like, they just see action. They think, like I got a cheer, and then they got the horns and the drums.
Yeah, it's vibes.
It's a proper occasion.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to cover before we wrap things up?
Anything else I want to cover?
Yeah. Leave the floor to you.
Give the floor to me. What do you guys think about the Premier League season? Like, what's your expectations?
Chelsea win the Premier League.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
What for next
Arsenal
season?
come second again.
I want to hear from the Norris.
Forest
It's tough for me. I don't actually know.
Forest to come 11th.
Bottom three.
Well, there's no
Going
need.
off Henry's prediction last year.
I take a trophy. Like,
I mean, same mate.
Anyone at this point.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mind a mid-table finish if we got a trophy or a FA Cup, Carabao Cup, or a Conference League or Europa League. It could still happen.
Yeah.
You are being dodgy with that.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah, but like I've said,
Botafogo owned by the same people as Lyon, who you also buying players from, and you've spent what 75 million so far on players to try and save Lyon.
Yeah,
over the
years.
over the years.
Well, no, because it's 35 from Botafogo and then 30.
Well, no, because two of those players aren't joining now. We're only getting one of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that's
I mean, to be
10
fair, they're just trying to buy the whole of Brazil at this point. Like every Brazilian,
it's working.
any player in Brazil is suddenly linked to Forest.
it's
I'm like, what's
working.
going on there? They're doing the Wolves project, but it's with Brazil. It's going to buy the whole of Brazil instead. What do you think, though? I think that's interesting. What do you think of the Premier League season upcoming?
Who do you support for context as well?
I support Fulham.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a bit.
Little brothers down the road as well.
Yeah, there's like I look at Liverpool. Liverpool looking scary. Like they just won a league.
It's the first time I've seen them with such intent in the Premier, in the transfer
I
market.
don't think.
So Verts is such a good signing. I think they've probably overpaid, but
They've improved their football.
I don't think they win the league. Next year.
I do.
You don't think so?
Frimpong,
I think
Frimpong is outstanding.
I think City come back with Rodri and win
They
it.
just
They've
lost
They've just lost Rodri anyway.
Yeah, but no, he'll be
Rodri's back out injured.
Yeah, but he'll be back for the season.
No, he will, but
I think De Bruyne was a huge part of that, and we don't know now yet.
Yeah.
We'll see how much of a thing he was to that team.
yeah.
But yeah, I think Liverpool looking scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember if Frimpong, when he was young, playing a bit in Holland when he was at Man City, absolutely incredible. As a fullback, you could tell that he was always going to be good, and going forward, he is such a threat. And I think I personally would say he's better for Liverpool than Trent, given how good he is going forward, but how defensively solid he is. If you look at a lot of teams targeted Trent, and I think Frimpong is better defensively, and I think he'll bring more cover into that back line.
Yeah, but when you pay for Liverpool, you don't really got to defend because when you've got Van Dijk next to you, that allows you to kind of go forward.
But I think they've strengthened on the weak point, which was him defensively. They've gone out and strengthened there. They're looking at left
and they've got a better left back as well.
The only thing with Frimpong, he could get caught out when he's high up.
That's where someone like Endo can.
Back
But I think
anyway.
he's quick enough, and someone like Endo could cover if they needed.
Not Endo, Gravenberch, chill.
Either one.
Endo's not playing.
Well,
Either one, because Gravenberch can play as well.
I was going to ask, as you are a right back, is there like a right back you watch now and you really enjoy, or even from a few years ago?
Frimpong.
I like Ole Einar.
Oh, great answer.
He's happy.
I love that man.
I've been watching for a while because we share the similarity in terms of obviously I play right back and left back, which he does as well.
Yeah.
So when you look at players in the game, there's a very few who are doing that, and he does it very well. So that's something I've always looked at.
He's just so strong as well,
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's
For
got
strong
everything.
and quick.
Fast.
And he's funny.
Yeah.
You seen his Snapchats?
Funny enough, I've actually met him.
Have you?
That's a story for another day, but yeah, I've met him.
Next podcast.
And what he's like on cameras is exactly how he's like.
You can
kind of tell.
People think like, oh, he's putting it out. That's exactly how he is in person. He's so cool, like, down to earth, like just a normal guy. Yeah.
Who have you got getting relegated next season? Who you got top 4?
I'm hoping Chelsea get relegated, but
Alright.
no, joking.
Podcast's over.
He's going to cancel that one.
No, I think whoever's going up is going straight back down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's
all
just
three.
the Prem, like
I can hear
The
it.
gap.
the money is just different now. Like it's hard to compete. It's just so hard. You see the teams that come up last year, like it's just gonna keep on happening where clubs are just gonna keep going up, and going down, going up and down.
The Sunderland have invested quite well.
Yeah, but they also just lost Joe.
I was going to say, I think if Leeds spend well, they could stay up for maybe a season or two. But I think it's going to be another kind of thing that they could go down.
I think West Ham are going to be in trouble.
I feel
West Ham
We said, but we've been saying about Everton, West Ham. These,
But I feel like Wolves is another one.
They always find a way.
I
Lost
think Wolves-
Cunha.
Yeah, but they were better without
Yeah,
Cunha.
but there was still 12 points between 17th and 18th.
Honestly, look at this. Tottenham can go down at this point. They were closest
United.
to going down. Tottenham and United probably going to end up
I
there.
would have loved Spurs to go down.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd have been fun.
I do want to just quickly ask kind of a couple more questions. But
Top
for
four.
me...
Top 4 first.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I completely forgot about top 4, mate. Honestly, forgot about that.
Top 4. I'll go Liverpool. I forget Arsenal. Well, Arsenal have been consistent for years.
Consistently second.
If they can get, but you said it, but before that, like they weren't even competing. So the
Europa
fact that
League.
Started 8th.
Yeah.
so I think if Arsenal get a striker and someone to replace Thomas Partey and stuff,
You're the one who's done that as well. That's
Keep talking.
I'll let you do your thing. Yeah, I think Liverpool will win it again, and then it'll be tight between Arsenal and City, and then probably Chelsea will be in there at 4th. I reckon.
Yeah. I think we'll get 4th again, to be honest.
growing up, was there a player, as you said, you played across a lot of positions, was there a player that you kind of looked towards or looked up to and tried to base yourself off?
Yeah, probably Rhys James, like, because I played multiple positions. Like, that Chelsea team, like, that generation, that academy team was just untouchable.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, and even when he went to Wigan, I watched him a lot.
He
at
played
Wigan.
DM there as well.
Yeah, he played DM. They were taking free kicks.
Did you see that? Was it like 45-yard screamer? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was captain at one point, I
Yeah.
think, as well. Like, I saw that, I thought, yeah, like, him, like, someone I can kind of, like, base my game off. And yeah, especially when he broke through at Chelsea as well. Yeah, it's just different. It's different. So that's definitely someone.
Nice.
Yeah. We haven't got anything else to kind of wrap it off with, you know, just for you, do you have like a piece of advice for anyone? You know, a lot of like young players coming through, especially as a footballer. It can be cliche, it can be literally whatever you think has helped you the most, but is there a piece of advice you would give to people that, you know, are looking to get into football and kind of, you know, follow through, as you said, dealing with rejection and everything? What would you say has been the key thing for you?
Hard question.
It's always a hard one.
There's so much. It's a big one to unpack. I think going back to lockdown, I think every game you play, you give 100% because you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching. And in the same breath, I would say, I think we spend too much time as people caring about what people say. People are going to talk regardless whether it's good or bad. So you just got to do you. You can't be worrying about, what my friend's going to say if I get nutmegged, or like my coach is going to be angry at me if I try this. Like, just do you, man. Just do you and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the game. The moment you're not enjoying the game and you lost that love, then it's probably time to look into something else. But yeah, just give 100% and try and care less what people say. Obviously, it's important, like, if your friends and family are telling you, like, you to change certain things, or as a close friend, like, take those things into account. But yeah, just do you. Do you, man.
That's perfect.
Perfect message to end the podcast. So thank you very much, Kian, for coming on. Make sure you guys get your tickets as well, so you can watch all four of us play on Sunday. It's only
Some better
£5
than
for charity. some more than others, yeah. Watch me score against my boss, Hayes from Jersey Bird. Looking forward to doing that. And check out all of our other socials and other shows, all linked down below. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.